Guys, we're getting close, really, really close to a fully operational Disneyland. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Fresh Baked, and I cannot wait to talk to you about some really great news that I've heard coming our way at Disneyland. But first, I want to ask everybody to take a second to like this video and to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Now, sometimes to me, it feels like Disneyland is not going to be complete until Star Wars Land is complete. As in, we're 2 years away from things being back to normal again. But of course, I'm forgetting that this is new land that we're talking about. This is new land that is being constructed. In order to get Disneyland back to its fully operational state, all we need back are the rivers of America. And part of that return to a fully functional Disneyland is the return of Big Thunder Trail. And I'm hearing, Fresh Baked, that Big Thunder Trail will be open again to guests, for guests to walk through tomorrow. And you can bet that I'm going to be there in the morning, tomorrow morning, to try to get some coverage of that and bring it back to you immediately. Meanwhile, I'm hearing a date of July 28th for a return of the fully functional Rivers of America, and that includes the Disneyland Railroad. And that means all trains, not just the one train, but all trains will return on July 28th. There had been speculation that it might have been sooner than that, as soon as July 14th, but the 28th makes a lot of sense when you look at the current state of the Rivers of America and its progress. There's a lot of work to be done, and it looks to me like we're closer to 6 weeks away than we are 4. And we could even get an advanced look at the return of the Disneyland Railroad in as little as 2 weeks, as that's what I'm hearing for testing to begin for those trains. Meanwhile, we're already seeing boat traffic return to the Rivers of America. Testing has begun for Mark Twain and the sailing ship Columbia. We got this footage of the Columbia yesterday returning to dock in Frontierland, and today we were given this footage of the Mark Twain sailing around the Rivers of America. Both clips are thanks to friend of Fresh Baked, Wendy Bauer. Thank you very much, Wendy. It's a beautiful sight, and if we're lucky, we'll get some first-hand footage of this as well tomorrow when we're down there looking at the Big Thunder Trail. Now, one thing that we're all hoping with the return of the Rivers of America is that it'll have some kind of impact on crowds at Disneyland. Now, being that we're in the park every single week, we have first-hand observation on how crowds are affected by changes in the park. And I'll say this, I've been more than a little bit surprised at just how consistent crowds have been, even with the closure of Rivers of America. I expected there to be a greater impact on crowd level. And it looks like the folks at the Themed Entertainment Association would agree with this. They released a report the other day that stated that worldwide attendance to Disney parks worldwide is down for the first time in 10 years. And only Shanghai has reported an increase year over year. And that includes Disneyland, where attendance was down 1% in 2016, but this was 100% by design. Disney knows they can increase profits without increasing attendance. They've done so by increasing ticket prices every year for as long as I can remember, with no impact at all on overall crowd attendance. In fact, attendance has even gone up. So yes, attendance is down 1%, but revenue is up 5%. And what that means is that whatever it is that Disney's trying to do, it's working. Now, before you get on the Disney is greedy and they want all your money bandwagon, it should be noted that Universal Studios has been pacing Disney's price increases for quite a few years now. A single day ticket at Universal Studios is now $116. Compare that to a single day ticket at Disneyland, which is $104 on a moderate day. Don't forget the tiered ticket pricing now. That's just food for thought on that topic. And while we are discussing Universal, the TEA did report that Universal is not suffering from the same decline in attendance. In fact, attendance is up 14% in 2016 for Universal Studios Hollywood. The bottom line is that Disneyland is now just as full as Disney wants it to be, but we can all hope that the return of the Rivers of America will at least give us a little bit of a break from the crowd congestion. And finally, among all the things that Disney does also really well is make hit movies. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, big hit, and it looks like we can include Pirates of the Caribbean 5 in that list. If you were wondering if Jack Sparrow and Company were going to make a return for Part 6, a $500 million worldwide gross could answer that question for you. The reviews for the film weren't great, and probably for good reason. We saw the film as well, and while it wasn't our favorite Pirates of the Caribbean film, I was personally much happier at the end of the film than I thought I was going to be having seen it. I had low expectations of the film based on the preview that we saw at DCA, but it turns out the scene that we were presented was probably the most ridiculous scene in the entire movie, and the rest of it, on balance, was pretty good. I personally enjoyed the film, and I fully expect there to be at least one more Pirates film coming our way, and I expect Johnny Depp to return, and I do expect the full return of Miss Swan and Mr. Turner. And for those of you who have seen the post-credit scene at the end of Pirates 5, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, that's it for today, guys, but I want to hear your thoughts on the return of traffic to the rivers of America, and if you think that that traffic will reduce the crowds at all. And I want to find out if you saw Pirates 5, if you liked it, or if you're a little bit sick of it and you're ready for this franchise to retire. Let us know in the comments below, and until next time, Fresh Baked!